All right, gang. We are on our final week of class and our pose of the week. So let's go ahead and break down our pose of the week for this week. That is our butterfly pose. I'll go ahead and just get right into it so you can kind of see what it looks like, and then I will break it down so you can find the best version for you at the time that you do these stretches. So, soles of feet together. I guess I'll turn this way so you can kind of see. Come onto the spine. And then we fold over, palms turn up, head hang. Okay. So, to get into this pose, you just bring the soles of your feet to touch, and then your feet are going to be anywhere from 3 to 5. I would start maybe at 4 and kind of check in. 3 to 5 fist distances. You're literally going to measure from your body to your heels. The idea is you don't want your knees coming out, having your heels out to a space where your knees are way up like so, or to a space where you feel, if your knees are up and you feel the rounding of your back, that's not going to be really beneficial for us. So setting up with the heels first, measure 1, 2, 3, maybe start at 4, see how it feels. You can always come a little bit 3 or 5. Extend long through the spine, keep the spine straight, and think about leading with your chest as you crawl your hands out away from the body. Again, keep the spine straight, 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 until you get to that space where you feel that good stretching tension on the inside of your leg. Pause there, palms turn up, let your head hang. All right, so let's break it down. First thing, if you're coming into it and you're finding a lot of rounding in your lower back and you really have to crank forward and not getting much space, folding forward, prop your hips up. You got blocks, you got blankets. Maybe you prop yourself up on a block, lift your hips up. 1, 2, 3, probably more like 4 or 5 on this one. Spine is long and hinge forward, forward, forward until you start to feel that tug in the inner adductors and the inner side, the muscles on the inside of the leg. Start to hinge forward, back is still, it's not gonna be like stick straight, but it's still, again, you're leading, it's like you're leading with your chest, almost as if you want to take your chest to rest on top of your feet. Palms turn up, and head hangs. Head can hang here. You also can, I'll show you some stuff you can do with the head here in a second. You can also, so you can use lots of blocks. You can also use lots of pillows. I'll just show you with a stack of blanket and a pillow on top, which I really like, because again, you have the space to smush closer to the ground. So same thing. Set yourself up, folding forward. I really like this version. You can do that. Elevating the hips. If you find there's a lot of rounding in the lower back, because again, if you have that rounding, just like I was showing you, say like we're coming forward, at least out of the way. Say like we're coming forward, but you're feeling the rounding. Your back is starting to round out. Again, you're not going to be able to go very far at all. And you're going to feel it all in the lower back and not on the inner of the thighs and the muscles that we're trying to find. So keep that in mind as you set up your butterfly pose, and just elevate the hips. Use as much that you need that will help you hinge at the waist, again, leading with your chest as you hinge forward and down. Okay, now your hands, you got your hips figured out. Now you're trying to figure out what to do with your hands and or your head. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we're here, we're hinging forward. Your hands can be out right in front, palms turn up again. We always like to turn our palms up. That is that nervous system hack that we use to help signal to the body it's okay to relax and rest here. So palms turn up. You can always pause right here. Allow the head to hang. Maybe it feels better to stack some blocks and place the back of your palms on top of some blocks. Maybe push them out a little bit further away so you have space to drop down. You can always, if you're finding lots of space of hinging forward, you can stack blocks for your forehead to rest on in front of your feet. You can also, if it's more comfortable for you, you can stack blocks on top of your feet, or even take a block in between. You can play with the heights in between your feet, stacking blocks. So when you hinge forward, your head has something to rest on. It's very therapeutic when you have the forehead pressing into that block. It's really therapeutic for the nervous system. You'll feel an instant sense of just calm, and it's easier to close your eyes, and it's easier to really drop into your breath in that space. Totally optional. You don't have to use the blocks at all. You can always hinge forward, palms turn up, and let your head hang. Again, you got 5 minutes to experiment with this pose. The important thing is to really make sure that you don't have a lot of that sensation in the lower back. You want to prop your hips up so that the stretch can be found on the inside of our legs, especially in those adductors, and not in the lower back. Because if you're hinging or you're folding over and feeling a lot of that tension and stress in the lower back, it's not really a good kind of stretch, and you're just going to feel the soreness later on. So remember, this is our practice. We're doing this for the rest of our life every day if we can, and we've got plenty of time to play around with the different ways of getting into this pose and supporting and encouraging and helping the muscles lengthen, creating more space, creating that getting your gains in flexibility, creating more space for the mobility, just feeling good, and helping with our posture, all the good stuff. Another thing to note too, so take your time really finding your butterfly, what works for you, because we will be revisiting butterfly. There's several different versions. We really like this one for our hip stretching class. And once you feel comfortable in this butterfly pose, when we start to come into these other versions, you'll automatically have your space to go into and be able to drop into a quicker, a deeper stretching space at a quicker time. So yeah, remember, you've got 5 minutes, so you can always start in option 1, maybe put some more props underneath your bottom, lifting the hips up and maybe staying there for a minute or so, and then you can experiment with maybe removing something underneath the hips. Of course, if it feels good with your hips elevated and you've got that stretch, just stay there for the 5 minutes. Then you can, the next time you do it, you can try it without if you want. So that is your butterfly pose. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, if you want, you can take a photo of what you're experimenting with and send it to me, and I can kind of help you throw some suggestions your way, and together we can figure out what works best for you, so that you can really drop into these stretches and take full advantage and really start to work towards feeling that magical space. I got to figure out a name for it that we all feel when we do these stretches, and especially afterwards. So, all right, keep an eye out for butterfly pose. It's going to show up quite a bit, and it will for sure be in your hips class this week as well. So thank you for being here, and happy stretching. I will see you all very, very soon.